Hola a todos, buenos días. Gracias por acompañarnos a una sesión más de encuentro creativo. En unos minutos más daremos inicio. Hola a todos, muchas gracias a los que se han unido a la sesión. Vamos a dar unos minutos más para que se terminen de conectar y en un momento más vamos a comenzar.
¿Qué tal? Bienvenidos todos. Vamos a esperar igual un par de minutos en lo que se conectan todos, pero eh, buenos días, muchas gracias por conectarse. Ya casi vamos a iniciar con nuestra sesión de encuentro creativo.
One, two.
Bueno, muchísimas gracias por estar aquí en esta nueva ponencia que tenemos un gran invitado. Eh, bueno, primero que nada me gustaría darles un poco la bienvenida a partir de, antes de comenzar esta conferencia. A nombre de la Cámara de Comercio Italiana en México, les doy la bienvenida a esta presentación, que forma parte de la tercera edición de Encuentro Creativo, que es un proyecto de la Cámara Italiana apoyado por la Embajada de Italia en México, con el objetivo de promover la oferta académica italiana en México. Bueno, les doy a todos una calurosa bienvenida a esta sesión que seguramente nos va a dar muchísimo de qué hablar, de qué aprender. How to develop a successful communication strategy from content creation to content amplification. Impartida por Alessio Chianzeren por parte de la Universidad Polimoda. Chao, Alessio.
Hi, ciao.
Bueno, Polimoda incluye un amplio abanico de cursos undergraduate de 2, 3 y 4 años, así como másters de 1 y 9 meses. El objetivo es formar a las principales figuras profesionales que requiere el sector, desde las creativas hasta las directivas y estratégicas. Hacia el final de los cursos de licenciatura y máster, Polimoda ofrece prácticas de 3 meses para seguir desarrollando las habilidades de los estudiantes en un entorno profesional e introducirlos en el mundo laboral. Con sede en Florencia, la nueva capital de la moda mundial y el corazón de la producción Made in Italy, es una escuela italiana en su ADN, pero con una fuerte vocación internacional. Uno de los puntos fuertes del instituto es, sin duda, su estrecha relación con las empresas, lo que les permite, por un lado, adaptar rápidamente sus cursos de estudio a las necesidades reales del mercado y, por otro, facilitar el acceso de los estudiantes al mundo laboral gracias a las prácticas que se ofrecen al final de los cursos de grado y máster. Y bueno, para todos me gustaría platicarles un poquito de nuestro ponente el día de hoy, que es Alessio, y contarles, y bueno, y yo me presento también, voy a tener el honor de moderar esta plática. Yo soy Olivia Mesa, soy directora editorial de Miau Magazine, es una plataforma especializada en moda, radicada en México, y bueno, también somos parte de los media partners de Encuentro Creativo. Bueno, Alessio es jefe del proyecto del máster en Marketing y Comunicación de Moda en Polimoda. Es licenciado en Ciencias Políticas Internacionales y máster en Fashion Brand. Tiene más de 25 años de experiencia en marketing y comunicación de moda y durante más de 20 años ha desempeñado diversas funciones en el Grupo Internacional de Moda OTB, con sede en Italia. Es un grupo el cual lleva a Diesel, Maison Margiela, Marni, Jill Sander, Victor & Rolf, Amiri, Staff International y Brave Kids. Su último cargo dentro del grupo fue el de jefe de comunicación corporativa de OTB, manteniendo simultáneamente la responsabilidad de las empresas Staff International y Brave Kids como jefe de comunicación. Y durante 2 años también fue nombrado director de marketing interino de la marca Maison Margiela en París. Actualmente colabora como asesor de comunicación para algunas marcas italianas de moda y joyería, así como marcas de lujo. Bueno, entonces tenemos un súper invitado el día de hoy y les voy a invitar a que por favor escuchemos lo que Alessio viene a compartirnos. Y si tienen alguna duda, por favor usen nuestro chat que tenemos aquí o la opción de preguntas y respuestas. Pueden escribirlo en inglés o en español y al final vamos a tener una sesión para responder sus dudas con Alessio. Y bueno, y por último quiero mencionarles que es importante registrarse en el formulario que vamos a compartir por el chat para que tengan registradas todas sus asistencias y puedan obtener la constancia al final del seminario. ¿Ok? Bueno, Alessio, I'm giving you now the word, and it's such an honor to be here moderating this conference. I'm sure I will learn so much from you. So we are listening now.
Okay, thank you very much. And I don't speak Spanish, unfortunately. Disculpe, no hablo español. But I understood everything you said in Spanish. So I understood finally. Buongiorno, ciao a tutti. I think it's 11 a.m. in Mexico, right? It's 7 p.m. here in Italy. Thank you for introduction. I'm very glad to be here. And what we will do, hi. Unfortunately, I cannot see your faces, but I would love to see all of you. It would be nice to see you, even if by screen. But I hope to see you soon. I would like to see you all in Florence very soon. It's a great city. So, what will we do today? You read the title of my class. I have one thing to tell you before to start, which is quite important to me. I'm one of the professor overseeing the masters in fashion marketing at Polimoda, or the undergraduate courses at Polimoda. My thing is that you are in an age, you students, that you really need to start having practical knowledge about the fashion business. After many years of scholarship and theory, if you attend a master, whatever master, but especially in Polimoda, you need to receive practical things to enter the fashion industry, the world of fashion, okay? Reason why all my classes are very practical. They allow you to enter in the daily life in a fashion company, okay? What we will do today, we will speak about the marketing plan, okay? And all activities that a brand should do to create, define a successful communication campaign for a collection, for a product, or for a brand itself. You have to know that it's all about two. When we speak about communication, marketing, and promotion, you have to keep in mind one important thing. It's all about content creation and content amplification. Nowadays, final consumer bulimic about new contents. It means that as client, we expect to receive from our brands every day new contents, news about the brand itself. It's a kind of obligation for fashion brands to create new contents every week, every 2 weeks. So that's why it's so important, the creation of contents. On the other side, another important thing is how amplify, communicate the contents that we create for a fashion brand. So keep in mind two things: content creation, content amplification. What we will do today is to show you some examples of content creation in order to reach the final consumer. Okay. Unfortunately, I'm not able to ask you questions now because you are too much. But in your opinion, what's important content that a fashion brand should create throughout the season? I take it for granted that you know that in the fashion business, when we speak about fashion brands, there are 2 seasons: spring, summer, for winter season. Okay, and throughout each season, every brand creates new contents. One of the key contents that a brand has to create, it's of course the advertising campaign, the seasonal advertising campaign. It's a super important content. Let me share the screen. Okay. Can you see the screen now?
Yes, I
Say yes.
see.
Great. Great. Okay. When we speak about fashion marketing are all activities that a brand should do to properly promote and communicate a product. Okay. For activities, it means from the creation of contents to the amplification of contents to the PR and events to the digital and e-commerce to the trade and marketing. So a lot of activities. What we focus today in our lessons are the first two parts, the production of contents and the amplification of the same. Let me go through. Okay, production. When we speak about the advertising campaign, okay, if I think like not even 10 years ago, most of the brands were used to create throughout a season just few contents. And one of the key contents were the advertising campaign. The advertising campaign, it's still one of the key content that a brand is used to create throughout the season, but it's not the only one, okay? With the new digital platforms, the new social, so it's a kind of obligation for the brand to create more and more. Advertising campaign. For the moment, it's still one of the most important content of the season, but it's not the only one. Just to give you an idea of the timing, when a brand create the advertising campaign. So there is a specific moment that a brand create an advertising campaign. For the spring-summer collection, they shoot the advertising campaign normally in October and November. For the fall-winter campaign, they organize and they shoot the advertising campaign in April, May. You know why? Because from a sales point of view, mid-October is the end of the selling season, and mid-March is the end of the selling season for the fall winter. Okay, there are specific moments where we shoot the advertising campaign, and after the selling campaign, normally do as a brand, we collect all the orders of the products of the collection. We know which are the best sellers, the items that have been sold most, and we are able to decide which are the items, the key looks, the products that are important to be featured in the advertising campaign. So don't forget the advertising campaign, the official advertising seasonal campaign for fall winters is shot in April, May, and for spring summer is shot in October, November. Reason, because we know the best sellers. The other reason why we shoot the campaign this specific timing is like after the shooting, the brands need a bit of time to work on the post-production, a couple of months to work on the post-production, because there is also another specific moment for the advertising campaign, and it's the moment when the advertising campaign is released to the final consumer. Just to give you timing, for the fall, for the spring-summer campaign, the moment you start releasing the advertising campaign is from January till May. Why? Because this is the moment that the spring-summer collection is kicking the stores and it reaches the final consumer. Of course, you start amplifying the contents, the images or the video of the advertising campaign in the moment where the products, the merchandise is in stores, because you need to reach the final consumer. And this is for the spring-summer. The fall-winter campaign is released to the final consumer around June, because from June to November, because it's the moment when the fall winter collection kicks the store. It's a kind of holistic approach. So nothing is unplanned in a marketing department for a fashion brand, okay? So the advertising campaign is the first key content that a fashion brand should realize to promote a collection. The social platforms, okay, it's very important to create other content. Why? Okay, the advertising campaign fashion brand is used to define and to produce and to release to the final consumer. Okay, a brand can create images, videos for whatever reason, because they are launching a capsule collection, because they are starting a collaboration with another brand, because they are starting a co-branding with another brand. Because there are many, many reasons. Some of them are related to the product. So some reason why they release new contents is because they want to promote the product. In other cases, a brand may decide to create new contents, new images, new videos to promote not a brand, but not a collection, not a specific product, but maybe the brand itself. So a brand can decide to create institutional, creative, or corporate contents to promote the brand awareness. I hope you know all the difference between corporate, institutional communication and product communication. The product communication is a communication focused on showing and promoting specific products within the collection. A corporate, institutional communication, it's a communication focused in the promotion of the brand identity, on the brand itself. Okay? Never forget the importance to create new contents every week, which is a kind of bulimic system, but this is the way it works at the moment. Regarding the advertising campaign, there are or other content creation. There are many people involved in the creation of these videos or images. I'll just name a few, just to give you an idea that to create contents, it's a teamwork, okay? For the advertising campaign or for other content creation, especially for big production, and if you will work in a luxury fashion, international fashion brand. So there are the people involved are people, creative talents, people that are more focused into logistic and organization and production. I'll tell you a few names. One of the key persons involved in the creation of an advertising campaign or whatever, in terms of content, is the creative director. And during our classes, we can go deep into this kind of list of people involved. The creative director is involved, the designer, because sometimes the designer is not the creative director of the brand. There may be two different people. Then you have the photographer, then you have the stylist, then you have the models or the celebrities of the characters featured in the advertising campaign. Then you have the hair makeup, you have the set designer. So these are all talents in the creation of a campaign. And then you have the organizational part, which is like the production team. So all people involved in the organization, physical, practical organization of the shooting. Never forget that during the creation of these contents, Now you don't create just images, you create video and images. So you also have the video maker. Going through my list of possible content that you should create to promote the brand properly, you have the sell-in material. I hope you know the difference between sell-in and sell-out moment. The sell-in is the sales campaign that a brand is used to organize to sell the collections not to the final consumer, but to the buyers. Stores can be retail stores, mono-brand stores of the brand, or wholesale store. It means multi-brand stores, okay? In this case, for both retail and wholesale networks, you have the two channels, which is the online and the offline, okay? I give you some example. A brand can have mono-brand stores owned by the brand, and it's physical retail. And then you have digital retail, the e-commerce of the brand, the website when they sell their collection, and is the retail. Then you have the wholesale network. The wholesale network are the multi-brand stores, like stores with many brands, selling many brands. And in this case, you have physical stores, but you also have now big players now that are digital, and like Zalando. It means we call them e-tailers, okay? And it's super important to know this difference, to understand the difference between the retail network and the wholesale network. Because many times, in terms of content creation, you can create contents for the specific distribution network. The selling material, so back to the selling material. Another content that the brands are used to create are all promotional material, like lookbook, for example, or a merchandising book that are used by the sales force to promote the collections and the product for the sell-in, for the moment where the brand is selling the collection to the buyers. If we go through, then we have another content that the brand should create, and it's like the end of consumer materials. You have, I think it's clear. So are all materials the brand should create, produce, shoot, basically, to promote the brand to the final consumer. And in this case are catalogs, lookbooks, fanzines, okay? These are like all materials that you can send to the final client as CRM, so customer relation management. This is an example. So if you don't have contents, if you don't have enough images, videos to promote something for your brand, you won't be able to properly, promote and help in the sales. Super important, the creation of the contents for a fashion brand. During the classes, of course, now we have just an hour together, less than an hour, but we normally go through all these activities: content creation, advertising campaigns, selling material, and of consumer materials, and also the role the agencies, external agencies, okay, that brand might use to create the contents. There are some brands that are used to create contents internally. There are teams working in the marketing department for such activities. But in some cases, there are also brands that can decide to go in outsourcing. It means to ask agencies to create concepts about a specific message. Okay. I will move to another section. Don't forget what I told you at the very beginning. It's all about the creation of contents and the amplification of the same. What we'll go through now is the amplification of the same, okay? Once you have your content, once you have your images to promote a product, once you have your videos, you have created your videos to promote something, a collection, a capsule, a new storytelling for the brand, you launch a bag, a new bag, you decide to do a video to launch the bag, and you create all the concept around. Once you have all these images and video, you have to find the way, the proper way to communicate to the final consumer, okay? To show to the final consumer your videos, your images. Here, it's a short list. So you have to understand that like inside every category that you can see on my screen, there's a universe, there's a world, okay? And during the classes, we explain in details all different like categories. I'm just going through very fast at the moment. Amplification of the content. So one, way to promote images or video is the out of home. Out of home are forms, I would say, that you can use to promote something outside. Why it's called out of home. Few examples. You have your advertising campaign for the season. You have nice images and nice videos, okay? If you have enough budget, you can decide as a brand, as marketing office, to promote these images and these videos on billboards. So I'm sure that everybody knows what a billboard is, billboards that you can find in the street. Maybe you can decide to show the campaign, and billboards can be print, but also digital. You can show videos in the billboards, okay? It's called out of home. It's like a specific category of the advertising. It's a specific category of the amplification of contents for a fashion brand. Other example of out of home is bus shelter, bus stop, the kiosk. Everything is a street. So the street of a city, the streets are where to communicate your message. Another category that is included into the out of home is the guerrilla marketing. Guerrilla marketing, it's super fun. It's super effective. So sometimes you just need smart ideas, okay? Maybe you don't have big budgets to advertise, but you have smart ideas. And through the guerrilla marketing, you can really reach your final consumer. And you can do guerrilla marketing according to the philosophy and the image of your brand. If you Google guerrilla marketing on internet, there are plenty of examples, not just like for fashion brands, but also for many other brands out of fashion. Okay, Google and you will see what guerrilla marketing is. I have to say that like fashion brands, especially casual brands, are very into create guerrilla marketing sometimes. I have like an example that it's very effective. A couple of years ago, I think you know the brand Diesel, the casual the casual denim brand. They were organizing a digital fashion show during the COVID or right after the COVID pandemic. And of course, when you organize a fashion show, your goal is that to have as much as like viewers as possible to see the new collection. What they did is they rent, okay, in key cities. I remember it was New York, Dubai, Paris, London, but also Eastern. They rent drones, you know, drones, and they create like a kind of like choreography with the drones in the sky without informing anyone. Okay, and the drones were creating like the D of diesel, and at the same time they were like showing this performance of the drones in their website and in their social platform. Day of the show, announcing like the show itself. This is like an example of guerrilla marketing. Another example of guerrilla marketing is maybe a flash mob. And when we speak about flash mob, there are many ways to organize flash mobs for whatever reason. So back to out of home, there are classical advertising out of home, such as billboards or bus shelter or kiosk or digital screens in the tube, in the underground. And there are also some not classical out of home, like guerrilla marketing. What we discussed during our classes are in details all these activities. Speaking about amplification, another category where you can amplify your message, your images, okay, are the print. It means what a print? It's like having your advertising campaign in the publications, in fashion magazines. Can be newspapers, can be weekly, can be monthly, can be trade publication, can be dailies. I have to say, with the digital platforms, the importance of being in printed publication is less than in the past, okay? But still, because, why? Simply because I'm sure that you're not used to go every day to buy new publications or fashion publications, okay? You are more into scrolling down your internet and visiting Vogue or visiting Glamour or visiting whatever if you're interested in fashion. But you see the online version. But still, the printed publication are existing, and they don't have a high circulation as in the past before the arrival of the digital platforms or the social platforms. But still, many luxury, many brands, many fashion brands continue to advertise in printed publication. When you have to advertise in publications, in printed publication, you have to create what we call a media plan, a media buying. What we will do during our classes is to explain and to show to our students how to create a media plan for printed, okay? At the same time, if we scroll down my presentation, you see online advertising. So I have to say that like the online advertising is like the digital, mirror of the print advertising. It means a brand can decide to do advertising on the digital version of a magazine, of a publication. You have Vogue, but you have also Vogue.com. In this case, for online advertising, you have many ways to promote and to advertise. When it's matter of printed publication, you just have your images of the campaign, and you can decide if you want to do a double page, a single page, or a groupage, like a 6-5, like a folder, you know? You can be back cover, you can be like on the other side of it, you can decide the position of your advertising in the print publication. When we speak about online advertising, we have different rules. We can have not just images, we can have also videos, for example. And then we have specific sections. We can have specific tools, specific images or videos. Maybe a brand can decide to advertise just with the logo, with banners. Maybe a brand is launching a fashion show. It can decide to advertise the fashion show in banners on the online publication. You can decide, you see that written. You can decide in video ads, okay? Video advertising. You create a small video of 10 seconds, okay? Like a short version, and you put on the magazine, on the online magazine. Then we have the pre-roll. The pre-roll is something that I don't like, honestly, but it's working very well. And the pre-roll is, let's say, we enter a website like Vogue, and when you click and you deal Vogue.com, then is a pop-up of a video of advertising. I think it's boring and annoying, okay? Because it's a loss of time when you want to read an article, and then you want to read the article immediately because you don't have time, and there is this pop-up coming up with the advertising, and you are not able to close it. You have to see 5 seconds, 3 seconds, 10 seconds of advertising. This is what we call pre-roll in the online websites or publications, and also in the fashion publications. In read ads, an example, we are reading an article, and then between a paragraph and another, there is an advertising. Can be a video or can be an image. It's called in-read advertising. Speaking about publication, amplification, we said we can amplify our messages through out-of-home, classical like billboards, or like not classical, guerrilla marketing. We can have our messages, our content, in this case, images, with an advertising campaign in print and publication. We can have online advertising. It means we can have our contents in online magazines. Then we have the universe of the social media. Okay? You can decide, and it is what they do mostly, you can decide to promote through advertising, okay, your brand or your collection in the social platforms. I'm not going to tell you, the long list of social platforms existing at the moment. Of course, let's pick just one for all of them. It's like, for example, Instagram. Okay, Instagram. You can have organic posts and stories and reels. Okay, and you can decide to promote some of your contents in the social media. It's a real interesting universe that normally we discuss during our classes. It's just a list for you to understand how you can amplify your content. Okay. I would go. How many time do you have still?
We have like 10 more minutes.
10 more minutes. I'm going through another thing. Okay. Another way to amplify and to amplify your message as a brand is to organize also physical events. Okay. It's not just matter to create contents as such the advertising campaign. It's also to create physical contents that at the same time are creating, photographic or images of the content itself. Okay. Way to promote the brand or the collection is the organization of the fashion show or fashion shows. Also in this case, okay, the fashion shows are still the most important moment for a fashion brand. There are fashion brands organizing more than one show per season. Depends how many collections they have. They have the men's collection, they have the couture collection, they have the women's collection, and they have maybe the resort collection. Big luxury fashion brands organize minimum 4 shows per season. They do organize a fashion show for the resort collection, the pre-collections, which are like from a business point of view, very important for the brand. Because in terms of sales, in terms of volume of sales, they are playing the lion's part, the pre-collections. The pre-collection are the first collections arriving in stores. I'm sure you are following some luxury fashion brands, and I'm sure that you know that like some brands are organizing amazing events in out of the fashion weeks in amazing locations in Egypt, in Rome, in Las Vegas. Normally, what they present during these big events are the pre-collections. Then they do organize fashion shows during the fashion weeks. And they do organize fashion shows for men's. They do organize fashion show for women's. And then it depends on the brand. They can decide to show in Milan during the fashion week of Milan, during the fashion week of Paris, London, or New York. These are the key international fashion weeks. Then there are many other fashion weeks, but in terms of international fashion luxury brands, these are the key cities. So we are already at 3 fashion shows per season. And then eventually, if a brand has a haute couture collection, they do show in Paris. So can you imagine from a budget point of view, from an organizational point of view, so the importance, okay, of a fashion show? Also, this will create contents because from the fashion shows, there will be images, there will be video. And these images and this video can be featured on your social platforms, okay, through organic contents, but also to a programmatic advertisement of the same. Another big category, okay, to promote the brand or a collection or a specific product is what we call product placement. Product placement is, assuming a very important role nowadays. Product placement, it means working with opinion leaders and celebrities. All big fashion luxury brands, okay, work with celebrities. It means to have celebrities wearing your looks, wearing a specific look, wearing the bag. There are many activities that you can do with celebrities. Some of them are paid activities, some of them are for free if some celebrities are friends of the house. But I have to say that at the moment, it's a big, big business. It's not so usual, like you don't pay a celebrity to wear your clothing, even if they are friends of the house. This also, the work with celebrities, it's something that will create contents. Will create contents, images or videos that then you can promote through your social networks or third parties social networks. Also in this case, celebrities, product placement is the universe. And this is something that we go through in details during our classes. We tell you how it works. Like contract, agreements with celebrities, processes, organization, from A to Z. Okay? Shall I go ahead or shall we finish?
I think we can start finishing, so we can read some questions and then well, I'm pleased if you keep on sharing with us, but I think our time is nearly closing.
Okay. No, I'm here. If you have any questions, of course, I was very fast, explaining you. Me gustaría que termine la press. I don't know. I see some questions.
Well, they say that they would like the presentation, that you can finish the presentation you were showing us.
No, but no, I can continue another couple of hours. But like, in this case, the focus was like, hold on, I just lost you. In this case, the focus was like the creation of content, the amplification of the same. But like in general, during our classes, we really explain to the students how to define, to create and build an omni-comprehensive marketing and communication plan. At the end of the classes, of the course, they know, once they have a marketing budget to spend, how to spend the budget through the creation of a marketing plan. And the marketing plan is just like a plan containing all proper activities among the one we just saw, but there are many others, to promote a specific product.
Perfect, Alessio. They have a couple of questions here, so I will read it to you. Sabrina Barajas asks, would you recommend to do a big investment in an advertising campaign if the brand is starting?
If the brand is?
Starting, like it's a new brand and you are starting a project, what would you recommend?
Okay, like a startup. Okay, I tell you something. The marketing investment, so the investment in communication for a fashion brand, is usually a percentage of what? Is the percentage of the total turnover of the revenues. Okay? So when I was working at OTB and I had to deal with many brands, I was not inventing the budget to allocate and to spend for communication. Okay? The budget for each brand. So they decide, a brand decide it's the market investment through the total revenues, the turnover. It's a percentage. And the percentage is from 4 to 6, the average. So you can also invest 10%, of the total turnover. But I have to say, when you are an established, consolidated and luxury brand, and you have a big turnover, the 5% is normally the percentage used, allocated for the marketing. 6, 5, 7. In terms of startup, what I usually suggest is to invest a little bit more. Okay, I know you don't have money because it's a startup. But two things you have to do when you are a startup. 2 categories. Invest in product. It means like to have a good product, a successful product. So doing research, design, product collections, strong product, and marketing. Okay, then you have all the production, the logistics, the organization. But at the very beginning, you have to have a smart product and a smart marketing. That's why I would invest a little bit more than the 5%, 6% at the very beginning, maybe the first year or the second year, like the 10%. When we do like the final projects for the master, for the students of the masters, some of the projects are like the launch of a brand or a startup, and also the definition of the marketing plan. And normally usually they invest more than the 10th, also the 20% percent. But what I tell them, okay, be careful, because like it's a lot. It's a lot. But at the beginning, it's very important to invest more.
Okay. Yeah, it seems like there's lots of tools that you can use to make your own strategy depending on what you want to promote on your brand, achieve on your brand. Exactly. Well, we have lots of questions now.
You're welcome, Sabrina. I see your. Thank you, Sabrina Barajas.
Well, now I'm going to. It says Audrey. Audrey asks, in your opinion and experience, what are the main challenges with brands to avoid becoming outdated?
It's a very interesting question, because we have many examples of brands that were not able to catch the interest of the new generations. Okay, and they struggled, to achieve new generation, because everybody now is looking at Gen Z. Okay, because but it may happen. The real challenge is to keep high the interest, okay, of the new generations. Because what's the risk if you sit down on your success? Okay, I have an example. Okay, and in-house, because I come from OTB Group, and one of the brand was Diesel within the group. Diesel is an example. Diesel is a brand with 45 years old, because I think the foundation was in 78, something like this. Very successful till 2000. And in the last 20 years, they didn't realize that that the young people that were wearing Diesel in the late 80s, now they are like 60 years old. They're not younger anymore. So they were not able to catch or to follow or to catch the interest of the new generations, even if they were still doing an amazing advertising campaign, a lot of budget, a lot of investments. So it's a real challenge. So, but the secret is still the same. Strong product, strong brand awareness, okay, and strong marketing. But speaking a language that can reach the new generations and always evolving and always developing. If you sit down on your success, you risk to die.
Thank you. Very, very interesting, because you have to adapt the language. I really like how you say about the language of the brand, of the whole narrative has to be reinvented and speaking the same language as the new generation is. So that's a true
It's not
challenge.
easy. Yeah, it's a true challenge. It's not easy. It's not easy. Also because like new generations, loyal at all, news, contents, brands, they're not loyal. They change brands every 5 minutes. As soon as they see something more interesting, goodbye, let's go to another one. So the challenge is to keep attention of the final consumer and to take care of the final consumer.
Very important. Thank you, Alessio. And I will end with one question that is from Giovanni, Andrea, and Natasha, which is almost the same one. And they ask, from your experience, what part of the communication strategy in a fashion brand do you enjoy the most?
I do enjoy the most, or it's more important for the goals?
I think they're asking about your work, like which part of your work you enjoy the most.
Okay, I changed it in my experience, like my interest. Okay, growing up, like for sure, I still remember the first fashion show. I was in London. It was a diesel show, and it was like very emotional. I think the energy when you create an event, it's amazing. Okay, it's not office work. Of course, we did advertise. Also, I think like fashion shows are still, or in general, not fashion shows, organize an event, the vibes, the challenge to create something new, to respect the expectations of the people involved, and to create something great. I think the creative part is super interesting. So in terms of events, for sure, but also the creation of an advertising campaign, to think about the concepts of each campaign, and then to decide the talents, to share some visions with the photographers and with the stylists. It's super important. So to create something. And another part which is interesting is like to work with celebrities. Because sometimes that you realize that it's not the celebrity, the difficult one, but the entourage, the people around them are make things difficult. I have many anecdotes I would have many anecdotes to tell you about strange things happening with celebrities. But I have to say, in terms of things I liked, is create events, create campaigns, and also working with celebrities.
I love your answers, because I think fashion is a very human thing, and in the end, to see just a final image or just a one product, and then to get to know what's behind all the people that are working for that, I think it's I like it. Thank you very much, Alessio. I will
You're
have
welcome.
to end the conference, but
It's finished.
Yes.
Ah, such a pity. Okay, I thank you. I thank you. Let me thank you and also the team, but also thank you to all the people that were present at this speech. I would love to see you in person, but thank you very much, and I hope to see you very soon in Florence at Polimoda.
Sí, muchas gracias a
Muchas
todos.
gracias, muchas gracias. Ciao, see you very soon.
Nos vemos. Estas sesiones van a estar grabadas en el canal de YouTube de Encuentro Creativo para que puedan repasar la presentación de Alessio. Y bueno, en nombre de la Cámara de Comercio Italiana en México, me gustaría expresar mi gratitud por presenciar esta sesión y agradecimiento a las marcas que forman parte de Encuentro Creativo, como Essilor Luxótica, Seña, Phoenix, Aeroméxico, Max Mara, Cartel, United Colors of Benetton, entre otras. Y recordarles a todos que las universidades asociadas a Encuentro Creativo y Polimoda ofrecen becas. Pueden encontrar los criterios de elegibilidad en la página web, en la sección de becas, y es esencial asistir al menos al 50% de las sesiones. Gracias a todos y no olviden seguirnos en todas las conferencias que siguen y hoy empezamos la segunda semana, así que nos vemos pronto. Muchas gracias.
Ciao a tutti. Ciao. Ciao, ciao.